friends, welcome back to Ball Homestead. Today we're going to try this new pasta maker out. So we're going to get some pasta put together and we're going to get to making it. Pasta is super easy to make. All you need is 2.5 cups of flour, 3 eggs, and a tablespoon of cold water. And you may not even need the cold water. You just kind of see the consistency of your dough. So I've already made a double batch here. I want to make some to dry because we are out of noodles, and my mother got us a new pasta machine for Christmas. I know it's early, but she asked me what I wanted, and my other one had got to where it wouldn't cut, so she got me one. It's a different brand, and we're going to give it a try. Sometimes whenever I have an abundance of farm fresh eggs, I will just make up a bunch of pasta and let it dry. We love homemade pasta. There is nothing better than homemade pasta. The flavor is a million times better. So I'm putting 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour in my food processor. Now I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to kind of blend. Here I just blend that flour and salt together, and then I start adding 1 egg at a time and kind of watch the consistency of the dough through the processor. I'll check it at the end to see if I need to add that water. Sometimes I can just tell by looking at it that it needs a teaspoon, and I will just throw that in there, because once it kind of starts sticking together and, clumping up, then I know it is ready. So for your pasta, you need 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of salt, 3 eggs, and a teaspoon of water. Let's check the consistency. Perfect. You want it to be sticky, but not too sticky. Like this will all smush together. And that's kind of what we want. We don't want it to be too wet or it'll just gum up our machine. So we want to just kind of knead it just a little bit. It's dry enough that I'm really not having to put any flour on it, but it's wet enough where it'll all stick together, if that makes sense. We're just going to knead it for a minute, and then we're going to let it set for a few minutes, and I'm going to get the pasta machine. I'm going to read the instructions and make sure I'm doing everything correctly, and we're going to give it a try. All right, here we go. We're going to see how this works. I know that this is the cutter when you get it the length you want. Once I finally get it down and get in a groove, I can get this pasta made pretty quickly. Here we're just making some macaroni noodles, and I'm just going to lay them on this parchment paper for a few days and let them dry. I like to make homemade pasta. It is so delicious, friends. If you've never tried making it, you should give it a try. It's not hard at all, and it is super delicious. Even with just pasta, a little butter, and a little herbs, maybe a little garlic. Oh, it's so heavenly. As many eggs and stuff as we get, I always try to make homemade pasta. I do fail at times because we live a busy life, but I do try to make that. And this press I was very impressed with. It cut different types of noodles. I think there's 6 different kinds, and I'm going to try them all next time. I just didn't have the time on this day, and I just needed to get some macaroni and spaghetti noodles made, but I want to try all the different types of pasta to see which one we like the best. This was about $100 on Amazon, I believe. I will link it in the description. It hooks up to any KitchenAid mixer. The one that I had before did also, and all it did was cut macaroni and sheets. I can still do my sheets for like lasagna on it, but my cutter messed up. I don't know, it just quit cutting it deep enough. So my mom asked me what we wanted for Christmas, and I told her I'd really like to have another pasta maker. The other one, the longevity of it was not good. I give about $100 for it also, and I think I might have used it 10 or 15 times, if that. And when I buy something, I want it to last. This one's a lot easier to clean. You can take each section apart, which I like about that. The other one, you couldn't wash it because you couldn't submerge anything. And this one you can, except the main part. So I'm pleased with that so far, so good. I mean, I've just used it once, but I do plan on making a lot of pasta very soon. It's so cheap and easy to make, friends. If you can find a cheap, you can buy a hand crank one on Amazon for around $30 if you don't want to invest $100 in it. But homemade pasta is well worth your time. I promise you. It is so easy and delicious. The pasta maker is super easy to operate. All you do is make your dough, put it in the hopper. It has a kind of like the same kind of twisty thing that a meat grinder has, and it just pushes the pasta through the shape that whatever it is. And then you just use the cutter to cut it off. It's super simple. I'm impressed with this one. I like that I can do different kinds of pasta besides just spaghetti noodles. And anyways, it's nice to have options of different kinds of noodles. We just keep cutting these noodles. And another thing I wanted to say was the spaghetti noodles, once I switch over to those, it is not as hard as what I thought it was going to be. At first I thought, oh, this is going to be a pain to swap these out. Once I figured out how to do it, it was very simple. So we got that swapped out, and we got a bunch of spaghetti noodles made because we were completely out and we needed them terribly. The last time I made spaghetti, I didn't have any spaghetti noodles, so I ended up using rigatoni. And it was good, don't get me wrong, but whenever I want spaghetti, and so does my husband. He likes spaghetti noodles. But these noodles are so good, friends. You can just boil them, drain them, put some butter and herbs and maybe a little garlic on them, and they are just heavenly. There is nothing like fresh pasta. I did not realize how wonderful it was till I made it myself. And there's just nothing like having fresh pasta. So like I said, if you can't afford a big machine like this, that hooks to a KitchenAid, they do have hand crank ones where you can at least cut lasagna sheets and spaghetti. And I think they're around $30. I'm going to link some in the description for you guys to check out. So check that out. And I'll also put my pasta recipe. It's super easy, super cheap. You can make pasta for pennies. Just flour, eggs, salt, and a teaspoon of water. It's literal pennies to make homemade pasta. And it's so delicious. It's worth it. It's worth your time and effort to do this because it saves so much and the product is so amazing. In the description, I'm going to post different pasta making equipment. That way you have some options to choose from. All right, friends, this is the pasta that we got from our little afternoon excursion. And we're just going to leave this on the table. It may take a couple days and we're going to let it dry. We got 2 sheets of macaroni noodles and 4 sheets of spaghetti. And we're just going to let this air dry. I don't have a rack. I just lay it on parchment paper. That's just the way I do it. Next time I do this, I'm going to do about double or triple the amount. I just didn't have the space today or the time. I've worked all day, and anyways, But it is a messy little job, but it's well worth it. There is nothing like fresh pasta. It's so delicious. And I know my husband was eyeballing it because it's one of his favorites. But anyways, thank you for stopping back by our homestead. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, friends, goodbye.